What's up, everybody? Probably the third time I've done this video. Thanks for joining me, man. Super psyched on that. Now this video is at subscriber's request. Kenny, you know what's up, man. I'm gonna be doing a build on the Nimbus today. Now I know I've already done this. I'm gonna do it for you, man, because you really want to break it down. And that's what I'll do. I'll try and explain it the very best I can. And hopefully this helps you, man. You know what I mean? It's up to you. Performing excellently. Sorry for the noise, guys. Let's put this away and let's take it down low, man. We'll get into it. Hopefully that's good there. Yeah. Nimbus. 3-post design. Now this build can go for pretty much any 3-post design. So as you can see, I have brass screws in here. This came with my Nimbus. This is going to change my ohms just a little bit, so you know, Kenny. It's going to be a little different than yours. But, yeah, there we go. Now, we have all the holes wide open. You should not be able to see any of the screw in the holes, okay? Very important. Cool. So let's go for it, man. We're just going to dive right in. 26 gauge. I know you said you have 28. You could twist it if you wanted, but you don't have to. You can do this with 26 too, alright? So we got our gauge. Whatever you want to use. This just came off a multimeter. Anyone's fine. Look at this. Like, I don't think it's any specific one. Let me find the other one I got. You know, I got like 4 of these things. Here's a different one. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Just one from a multimeter. Okay. Matter of fact, let's use this one because I like this little. And yeah, let's just get to it. First off, I'm going to take pretty good length here. Okay, I'm going to cut this off. And I hope you can. This is a good view and you can see this. So I'm just going to take my wire here, nice and straight. I'm not going to torch it or anything. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just wind it 4 times, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you probably noticed there that I wasn't like trying to be super even as I'm winding it around. They're not even at all. Because I'm going to do this. Take a pair of pliers or something, put it on the outside of the coil here. And I'm just going to push it against the wall like that, and I'm going to let off. And what that does is it spaces them perfectly every single time. It's almost like you put it around a damn screw, you know? Alright. So, and especially on these 3-post designs, cut one lead a little shorter than the other. Alright. Let me take this off, as a matter of fact. Just like that. Nice and uniform. It's a good view of it right there. So there we go, we got one. Let's do one more. So we're going to dual this bad boy. Okay, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, I'm not too worried about spacing on this, because we're going to push it against the wall of the tool we're using here. As you can see, I'm already done with that. No problem. And then I'm going to go ahead and make sure one's a little longer than the other. Not by much, just, you know, just make sure one's longer than the other. Okay? You know, that one little technique of pushing it against the wall gets it perfect every single time. Now, we're going to take our wire here. We have everything already pre-loosened here, right? like I said before, because that'll definitely help you in the first, so you don't have to unscrew anything. Put the long end in first, then the short end, and I'm going to push it into about there. Use the outside of the base here as a guide, you know. Just keep your coil outside of that. Okay? Then we're going to take your second one. See how there's a little bend end on there? See how it's kind of, hopefully I can get that. Yeah, see that? I'm going to clip that off real quick. You know, do yourself the favor, man. Make it real easy on yourself. Okay, so there's that. And I'm just going to insert again. Now, you don't have to do this. I do. Okay. Let me push this back out here. So you should look like that at first, okay? And then we're just going to kind of snug it up. That's all we're doing here. Just kind of gently pushing it in until it gets in there. Okay? Get it to about where you want it. Now, the question is, where do you want it, right? So, the general rule I like to do, as close as you can to the post without touching. None of the roundness of the coil should be touching these posts. Okay? Ever. Don't do that, okay? You'll definitely get a short. So I'm just going to do some final adjustments here. And like I said, you know, I'm looking at it and I'm making sure that I'm close but not touching. Alright? Because we're going to be tightening down the screws. And don't worry about any kind of like weirdness of the coil. Like this one's kind of like carving in. This one right here. See how it's doing that? We're going to go in there after we tighten these up and with this tool, and we're going to fix that, and I'll show you that. So let's go ahead and tighten down our Phillips. Let's start with the center one. And all I'm doing here is I'm tightening it till I feel it. Okay? Coils didn't move, that's what I'm checking for. So I'm going to go to the outside now. Okay? I'm going to kind of poke this in here real quick. Hold on 1 second. There we go. I just had to make a little adjustment. Nice and tight. Good. Same on the other side. And I want you to notice, see how those kind of lifted up? I kind of gauge it off how much that lifts, that I'm tight enough. So it should look something like that. Okay? See how I lifted up a little bit? These wires, these leads just kind of lifted up. And that's tight enough. That's how I do it. Perfect. Okay. So we're all set here. Now, these are looking, a couple of these are looking wonky. So I'm going to take my leads and I'm going to pull them up, straight up like that. All of them. Right up in the air. Okay. So it looks like that. Okay. Everything's up in the air. And I'm going to take my tool and I'm going to insert it right into the coil. Like that. Okay. And now I'm just going to level it out. See how that's kind of, I'll try and leave that in there. See how it looks almost horizontal, like it's just flat. See how I pulled that out and it's just flat. I hope that was in the shot. Sorry, buddy. Okay. See that? And I'm just going to pull that out. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Because you see how it's kind of, it's just kind of going like, you know, it's got this angle to it. Hook it in. Okay. And bend it up like that. Flat. Flat. Okay. And then I'm going to come in here one more time. I'm just going to, just one little snug. Like that. I mean, I'm talking like just. Double check it again. Everything looks pretty good. And now I'm going to clip these leads. Alright. So that's what it should look like. Everything's close, but nothing's touching. Okay? So I hope that makes sense, because it's so hard to show on my camera. I apologize for that. Let me go ahead and clip the leads here. menthol flying everywhere. I've been having trouble with YouTube lately, man. I don't know what the deal is with that. I just don't know. Okay. So there we go. Hopefully this gets in the shot. See how it's really close, but it's not touching? See that? See how close that is? Hopefully that shows up. As close as you dare. Now I'm going to take these pliers with just the tip of it, with it closed, and I'm going to push up those leads. I'm going to push them right up against the post. Like that. Like that. Because I just don't want any like little snags in there from my cotton, right? Okay, let's measure it out. Okay. So that's where we're sitting right now. Nice and solid. See how it's not jumping everywhere? It's solid. 0.2 and some change there. Perfect. So now what we want to do is after we measure it, is we want to have a toot. Let's pop this off here. Set that off to the side. Let's put this on our mod, because we're gonna set the coils on this. Now, what do I mean by setting the coils? What I really mean is, we're just gonna put a little heat on them. That's what we're looking for to get the heck was that? Oh, sorry guys. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So, I'm pulsing it. I'm just going to get a little heat on it. See how that one's kind of glowing first? We want them to be at the exact same time. It's not bad. Yeah, that's good. So, when you first put it on your mod, don't just push and hold the button down. Just pulse it. See that? So hopefully that it's nice and even. Okay. If you don't need to fire it too much, just as soon as you see that they're both glowing at the same time, that's when you stop, because you want them to stay nice and round like this. Okay. So yeah, man, that's it. You just want them to just pulse it out. Yeah, nice and hot. Nice, beautiful coil there. Okay, let's take it back up, man. Bingo. Okay. Now, I bet you already know this. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys. We're going to fish the wicks now. The way to fish a wick is I like to use, like, I got some like old flat wire ribbon that I don't even use. You know, it's just kind of sitting there. Super old stuff, but it's nice and thin. I took just a little piece of it and I made a loop. Okay. Cotton, and I'm going to put it right in there. Okay. Hopefully it shows up. Okay, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull it nice and tight. Then I'm going to take it and pull it tight. Okay. I'm going to pinch the head right there. Pinch. Just like that. Straighten everything out. Okay. And I'm going to take this. I'm going to thread it right through. And I thread it right through my coil. And just like that. I hope that showed up. If it didn't, you know, let me know and I'll be happy to show you in like the next video or something. But I think you get the idea, you know. It's this is a great technique because a lot of times what people do is they choke their wick. Now, cotton holds a lot of juice, and which is nice, you know, and it definitely outperforms pretty much anything, in my opinion. But you don't want to choke it still. Okay, and I hope you noticed that my coil didn't like move, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, when I threaded it through, it stayed solid on there. So it should look like that, something like that. You know, coils are flat, both sides, they're uniform, nicely spaced. Okay. Now, take your loop, this one, any one you want, and we are going to wrap it right around the outside. See that? Hopefully that shows up good. There you go. So I just took that loop and I wrapped it right around that outside screw. Okay? And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Pop it on there. And if you need to help it with this, you know, just kind of poking it down between, do it. Do whatever it takes. And should look like that. Okay? When you're done with it. Now you have these things, you know, floating around here. Take one piece, one of them, off one side. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to wrap it around. Hopefully. Sorry. Okay, sorry guys. And I'm just going to wrap it up under. And I'm going to clip it right to when it meets with the coil. You see that right there? I'm going to clip it right where it meets. Right where it meets the coil. So I'm going to clip it off. And tuck it under. Okay? Cool. And we're going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to take one of them. And I'm going to wrap it around, tuck it under, and I'm going to clip it right where it meets the coil. And I'm just going to tuck it under. And then as far as the other two leads go, you can do something with it if you want. Tie a little bow at the top if you want. Some people do, but I just snip mine off. Nice and clean. Just like that. That could look a lot better. Alright. There we go. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with, man, right there. Everything's tight, everything's tucked up underneath. If you notice, you can see the base right here on the sides. You should see that. You want nice good air, nice chamber in there. Everything's tight with the middle posts. Everything's uniform, right? It looks complicated, but hopefully I broke it down enough to where you can do it. The only thing left to do is vape it, man. So let's do that. I like to just kind of do a drop on each coil here. You can do it however you want. This is just habit for me. When you put the time into the coils, you know, I just like to go on each coil. It's just something I do. You don't have to do it, you know, but just make sure you don't flood it. Wet, but not flooded, alright? Brutal winter, man. We got slammed with snow. Slammed. Big time. Today I woke up to like 8 inches. Dude, it was so bad. You know, you just gotta push through, man. You know? You asked me to talk about resistant, or not resistant. Yeah. The general rule is the higher, like we'll use 22 as a low gauge. I know people use 22. I don't, but I know they do. And a high of 32 gauge, right? The 32 gauge wire is going to give you a higher resistance per coil, while the lower end numbers, your 28s, your 26s, 26 is steady rotation for me. For me personally, it's just plenty. And you also got, the lower the number, and I'm saying low like 22s, when you get that low, the resistance is, you need more wraps, Nonetheless, when you do a dual like this, just measure it out at 0.2 and some change, right? That means a single 4-wrapped 26 gauge coil would measure out about 0.4. With the brass screws, it's a different. I think it's like 1/10 of an ohm, but it should be about 0.4 ohms. So when you do two of the same coil, if you have two, let's see this, you have two 1 ohm coils, and you put them on your Nimbus, it's going to come out to 0.5 ohms, around there. Okay, so it cuts it in half. Keep that in mind when you're building, okay? Because I know it's crazy. There's so much to it. Ohm's law calculator. Now I want to show you this. Use that Ohm's law calculator, man. Okay. Make sure, and I think you got a 30 amp battery too. But anyway, let's fire this. What are we looking for when we fire this? We should see it sputter out each side, and we are. It's good. You know what I mean? Like when you watch it, see how it's coming out both sides. That's all you need, man. One more drippy drip. Drip tip on there, and you got your holes. You want to line it up right with the coil. You should be able to see your coil through your hole. Pop on this drip tip. There it is, man. We're good. Let's toot it up. As you can see, performing great. If you don't have one of these, get one. If you're getting into rebuilding and everything, I use this every time I build, man. I think I'm going to do a video on what I use daily, on my rebuildables and stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, like, for instance, this right here. See, you can probably see just from what I showed you on that build. 2-post design, right? Dual coil. See how they're close but not touching, right? Same basic principle. You wrap around your lead right around those poles there. Same principle. Okay? Same principle. Just remember, those little tips, and I hope I explained the gauge right. Like I said, the lower the number of canthal, the more wraps you're going to need for a higher resistance. So if you're shooting like a 32 gauge canthal, you did the same wrap, it'd probably come out to, well, you do 5 wraps of 30 gauge canthal on this tool. It comes out to about 1.3 ohms. If you did that with this, we did 4 wraps and it was 0.4. So it's a pretty dramatic drop. So just be kind of careful, Just make sure you're measuring all your stuff. You said you have a multimeter, so that's good, man. Happy building, man. I hope this helps, dude. Like I said, it's like the 3rd time I've done this for you. I'm sorry, man. I try to be, super quick to get on there and, and help everybody out as much as I can, man. So I feel bad it took so long, but I hope this one goes up. Send this in classic form, man. If there's anything else I could possibly help you with, please let me know. That's what I'm here for. Comment down below. Honest Vapor. Honest Vape. Thank you, man, for the kind words, dude. Super psyched that worked out for you, man. If you guys are looking for a channel to check out Honest Vape's channel, man. Dude knows. So I've been running through those videos. Thanks for watching, man. Any questions whatsoever, you know what to do. Let's end this, man.
Maybe scratching yourself?
See you guys.